Did you know that 60% of leaders fail within the first 18 months of taking on a new role? Shocking, right? Most people think leadership is about being charismatic, confident, or making bold decisions. But the truth is, there are myths holding you back from truly reaching your leadership potential. These myths are not just harmless. They're costing companies billions in lost productivity and employee disengagement. In this video, we'll break down 6 of the biggest leadership myths that are keeping you from becoming the leader you're meant to be. From the lone wolf myth to the idea that leaders must be born, not made, we'll uncover the truth behind these misconceptions and give you practical strategies to overcome them. Get ready to challenge what you thought you knew about leadership. By the end of this video, you'll have the tools to lead with confidence, clarity, and a new mindset that will set you apart from the rest. Stay tuned, because what you're about to learn could change the way you lead forever. Chapter 1. The Lone Wolf Leader. Debunking the myth of solitude in leadership. Many believe that a strong leader is someone who operates in isolation, making all decisions without the input of others. This lone wolf mentality can be appealing, especially when you're striving to stand out. But in reality, leaders thrive when they collaborate with their teams. According to a Gallup study, companies with highly engaged teams see 21% higher profitability. Leaders who foster collaboration create more opportunities for innovation and problem solving. When you actively engage your team, they bring fresh perspectives and creative solutions. If you're the only one calling the shots, you limit your team's potential and your own. Leadership isn't about knowing everything, it's about being open to learning from others. As leadership expert Simon Sinek says, leadership is not about being in charge. It's about taking care of those in your charge. One great way to break the myth of solitary leadership is by asking for feedback. When leaders request input, they signal trust and respect for their team's ideas. Google's Project Aristotle discovered that the best teams have leaders who encourage open dialogue, making everyone feel safe to speak up. Remember, leadership is a collective effort. You don't need to go it alone to be effective. Embrace collaboration, and watch your team and your leadership flourish. Chapter 2. The Charismatic CEO. Why being the center of attention isn't your superpower. The image of the charismatic CEO has been glorified, especially in the media. We often think that the most successful leaders are the loudest, most outgoing individuals in the room. But that's a myth. Introverted leaders can be just as powerful. In fact, 40% of people identify as introverts, and many of them excel in leadership roles. Take Bill Gates, for example. He's known for his calm, reserved nature, yet he co-founded Microsoft and changed the tech landscape forever. He once said, "We always overestimate the change that will occur in the next 2 years and underestimate the change that will occur in the next 10. Gates' leadership isn't about being the loudest person in the room, but about quiet, calculated decisions. Leadership isn't about attention, it's about making decisions that benefit your team and organization. Introverted leaders tend to listen more, which can be a huge advantage. A Harvard Business Review study found that introverted leaders tend to allow their teams to shine, which leads to higher performance. Being charismatic isn't a requirement for leadership, and it certainly doesn't guarantee success. A great leader understands that their role is not to steal the spotlight, but to bring out the best in their team. Embrace your own style, whether it's quiet or bold, and remember that leadership is about the impact you make, not the noise you create. Chapter 3. The Perfectionist Leader. Why flawlessness is a trap for growth. We've all heard the phrase, failure is not an option. But in leadership, failure can be your best teacher. Perfectionism can hold leaders back, making them hesitant to try new things or admit mistakes. The truth is, striving for perfection can prevent growth. A report by the American Psychological Association revealed that perfectionism is linked to stress, anxiety, and burnout, none of which are good for effective leadership. In the world of leadership, mistakes are part of the process. Thomas Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Great leaders embrace failure as a chance to learn and evolve. In fact, 95% of successful entrepreneurs have failed at least once before achieving success. Being a perfectionist often leads to micromanagement. This undermines your team's confidence and limits their ability to grow. Instead of striving for perfection, focus on progress. Let your team make mistakes and learn from them. Leadership involves guiding people through their mistakes, not shielding them from them. Imperfection makes us human, and it's what allows us to connect with others. Leaders who admit their flaws create a culture of vulnerability, which can lead to deeper trust and stronger relationships within teams. In her book Dare to Lead, Brené Brown states, "Vulnerability is not winning or losing. It's having the courage to show up and be seen when we have no control over the outcome. The perfect leader doesn't exist. What matters is your ability to adapt, learn, and inspire your team to do the same. Give yourself permission to fail, and encourage your team to do the same." Growth happens in the mess, not in the pursuit of perfection. If you're enjoying this content, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Stay tuned for the last 3 chapters of this eye-opening leadership journey. Chapter 4. The Command and Control Boss. Empowering, not ordering, your team. The command and control myth suggests that great leaders rule with an iron fist, issuing orders and expecting immediate obedience. Many people still think this is the key to leadership success. But this outdated approach can actually stifle creativity and hurt team morale. In today's world, the most effective leaders are those who empower their teams, not control them. A study by Gallup found that teams with leaders who focus on empowering their employees see 14% higher productivity. Instead of barking orders, strong leaders provide clear guidance and trust their team to deliver. They give employees the autonomy to make decisions, which leads to greater engagement and innovation. Think of leaders like Richard Branson, who is known for his hands-off approach. Branson says, "Train people well enough so they can leave, treat them well enough so they don't want to." This philosophy emphasizes trust and freedom, which creates an environment where people are motivated to give their best. Empowering your team doesn't mean stepping back completely. It means offering support, setting clear goals, and allowing your team to take ownership of their tasks. Research from the Center for Creative Leadership shows that employees who feel empowered are more likely to stay with their company, show higher job satisfaction, and contribute to innovation. Leaders who micromanage often end up spreading themselves too thin. It's simply impossible to manage every little detail. Instead, focus on giving your team the tools and freedom to succeed. As Steve Jobs once said, "It doesn't make sense to hire smart people and tell them what to do." Chapter 5. Leaders are born, not made. The myth of the innate leader. One of the most persistent leadership myths is that great leaders are born, not made. This belief suggests that only certain people are cut out for leadership, while others are destined to follow. But in reality, leadership is a skill that anyone can develop with the right mindset and strategies. According to a study by the Center for Creative Leadership, 70% of leadership skills are learned on the job. You don't have to be born a natural leader. What matters is your willingness to grow and improve over time. Leadership development is a lifelong journey, and anyone with the right resources and mindset can get better. Look at leaders like Oprah Winfrey, who overcame a difficult childhood and years of self-doubt to become a global media mogul. Oprah once said, "You become a leader by taking responsibility for the people in your care." Her journey shows that leadership isn't about innate qualities. It's about learning, growing, and being willing to step up. Leadership is about self-awareness, empathy, and communication skills. These are all qualities that can be cultivated with practice. A study by the University of Illinois found that self-awareness, a key trait of great leaders, can be developed through mindfulness and feedback. By committing to learning, seeking feedback, and stepping outside your comfort zone, you can become a more effective leader. Stop thinking of leadership as something you either have or don't have. Instead, think of it as a skill you can grow, just like any other. Chapter 6. The leadership path is linear. Why real leadership growth is a journey, not a straight line. The final myth is the belief that leadership development follows a clear, linear path. Many people think that if they follow the right steps, they will move smoothly from one level of leadership to the next. But in reality, leadership growth is anything but linear. It's full of setbacks, challenges, and unexpected twists. The road to leadership is a journey, and setbacks are part of that journey. In fact, Research from Harvard Business Review shows that leaders who face setbacks and overcome them are often more resilient and successful. Failure, when handled properly, can teach you valuable lessons that smooth out the bumps in the road. Consider the example of Steve Jobs, who was famously fired from Apple, the company he co-founded. Instead of giving up, he used that experience to learn and grow. He returned to Apple years later and transformed it into one of the world's most successful companies. His story is a powerful reminder that setbacks don't mean failure, they're simply part of the leadership process. Leadership growth also involves constantly reevaluating your approach. A study by McKinsey & Company found that great leaders regularly assess their strengths and weaknesses, adapting their strategies as needed. Leadership isn't about reaching a fixed point, it's about continuous improvement and adapting to the needs of your team and environment. There is no perfect roadmap to leadership. The key is to embrace the journey and learn from each challenge you face. As John Maxwell, a leadership expert, puts it, leadership is not about being in charge. It's about taking care of those in your charge. If you found these insights valuable, don't forget to subscribe for more leadership tips and strategies that can change the way you lead. Thanks for watching, and keep leading with purpose.